friends said that, maybe less character education is due to lack of character education at home. They don't believe that it's actually from the switch in focus of education, but more due to the fact of how society is today. And another thing I just found is that schools seem to be most successful when their climate and culture revolves around their character ed values. So, for example, Jackson Northwest, I interviewed a couple of people there, and I saw pictures that they use the PBIS system for behavior management, and I think what's very awesome is that they paint positive words around the school. It's like their character education program is highly enveloped in just the school culture and climate, and I love that, and I think every school should have that. As I said with the relationships, you've heard me mention all these people before, but Bev Wenzel was the executive director of The Rock. It was really good to collaborate and network from her. Sandy Krieger, who was my site supervisor, and then the Viking Valor curriculum director. It was really great to just work with her. And then Jessie Holbrook, who is the Jackson Northwest Middle School counselor and advisory leader, who really just walked me through and showed me how their school culture is impacted because of the advisory time that they set aside. So the project, what I would hypothetically be presenting to educators is the best practices for character ed. So those 5 strategies, those 3 programs that I talked about. I'll talk about this comparison a little bit and what I found and what seems to be working for a lot of them. I really would want to touch on implementation of advisories and mentoring programs, because I think after all of the research I've done and people I've talked to and the things I've seen, I think those would be the most important. And then just the impact on school climate and culture and how that affects student success. Finally, I want to talk about the challenges, the success and personal growth that I had, my achieved goals and outcomes, and my future plans with this research. So I started really slow, and these were all the questions I was asking. Where do I start? What should I focus on? Who do I need to ask? What is the best practice? What's next? And I just felt like I was going in circles. I actually had to type up my goals and my topic and my scope because I started so wide. So eventually, as I answered these questions, and I helped with talking to some people and to Mr. Albright himself, I realized that I was in the cloud, and that's why I put the in the cloud in this part, because I knew that my presentation needed something more than just facts and just character ed stuff, but I wanted to know how it related to the school. So I was sitting in the cloud figuring out what the heck I needed to do next, when I realized that, this character education thing can really be a school-wide focus, and that was my kind of what got me out of the cloud, was focusing on how this affects school climate and what I could do to help, and to just elaborate and learn more about that. So personally, I think I grew immensely from this project. Like I said, I never had so much fun researching or doing a research project before. I learned a lot about time management, just setting time aside to get this project done and to focus on it. And I think that helped me. I felt like professionally, I feel more secure in time management, and I also feel more secure in research practice and management. Like, I actually really enjoyed taking notes on all my articles. I felt like this gave me a pure investment in character ed. Like, I just want to know more, and I want to help students, become the best person they can be through character education. I helped with collaboration with other educators and just understanding what's out there for students and building character. And it just gave me a different perspective. Like I said, I've seen my students differently already. I've definitely have thought about a few things with character education that I didn't, really think about before. And I owe it all to this presentation and this project to just have that new, fresh perspective. So some achieved goals and outcomes from the course goals is I engaged in data-driven strategies. I felt like I promoted a learning community for everyone, and especially with my networking experience. I achieved personal goals through application of new learning, and this just includes how I use character ed in my classroom and how I can talk to people about it. And then I feel like I led by serving and servant leadership. That's always a goal that WLC has, and I think that I typically, almost always, if always, am able to be successful in that sense. So my future plans include figuring out what's the next phase of research because, like I said, this whole thing was about character education and development. But I also really, really have a heart for leadership and for teen girls. And so, if there's any way I could find a way for all those things to just those three things to interact during for my capstone project, I would love to do it. So just my future plans with this is to include it in my next phase of research, but how it's included, I'm not sure yet as I'm still searching for the answers. I want to use it in my own classroom, whether it's like setting time aside to teach character ed or inform educators about what I learned and what they can do too to help build character education in their classroom, and just asking questions. If I see something that I think could be differently addressed or used in a presentation or in teaching kids about character, then I absolutely want to be able to continue to use this to ask questions and use what I learned to help form the students I have and the athletes I have into the best people that they could possibly be. So now I'm going to go through all my references. There's a variety of journal articles, podcasts, and interviews and conversations. I just want to thank you for your time listening to my presentation and hearing about all that I learned and went through. And like I said, it was probably my most favorite research experience yet, and I'm really thankful for the perspective and all that I gained, knowledge I gained about character education, and I'm excited to see how I can use it and how I can help other people use it for the betterment of their students and adolescents. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Thank you.